Trying to find a spot to record this video, fam. Currently walking. Get the scenery. Yes, sir. See if we can find a good one, man. Usually choose a spot based off of the vibration. And just plop down and record, man. A lot of stuff on my mind. Let's talk about it in this video. Stay tuned. Peace, family. I hope everyone is having a great day wherever you are on the planet. Let me move my bag out the way. Decided to come out here and record after I finished playing pickleball. No competition. It was just more so me drilling, working on things. And wow, I have a message today that has been bubbling up within me for at least a week. And how I know it's confirmation that I need to record and tell you all about these messages is because I will experience things throughout the days that are telling me to get the messages out, or that will kind of reflect what may be happening in the subconscious mind that is telling me to get the message out. And so in saying that, the message, or the title of this message is Forget Your Past to Propel into Your Future, right? And what does that mean? That can mean a multitude of things. But first, let's take a sip of our daily healthy juice. This is a green juice. It has kale, lemon, ginger, green apples, moringa, which is a superfood that is anti-cancerous, that is immune boosting, memory boosting, inflammation relieving. So if you have not gotten some moringa and added that to your daily diet, do that. You can also get green juices with me at Solar Juice and Company. So let's take a sip of this. But yes, into the message, family. You must forget your past in order to propel into your future. One of the things that has resonated with me is how we look at ourselves, and how a lot of things in our past shape who we are presently here today. And that speaks volumes, because a lot of us look at ourselves as our past selves and not where we currently are right now in the present, and or who or what we see ourselves being in the future, right? We hear outside talk, going into our last video, we hear outside talk that wants to shape our mentality, shape our reality. And we have to rid of that, because those outside voices, those outside things of the world do not matter. What matters is the internal talk that you give to yourself. And a lot of times when we have not come to terms with our past, that internal talk is shaped in detrifying and stagnant ways of living, right? And so we must forget our past and to propel into our future, right? When you look in the Bible, right, or into ancient texts, there's a lot of bees and insects out here. And it's interesting because whenever I go places and there's are a lot of bees floating around, I know it's good energy, because bees are resonant to energy and frequency, right? They are, I don't know what it is about them, but you can look that up and look more into that. But bees go off of frequency. So a lot of people are scared of bees, and but it's actually maybe like a good sign that you have good energy. But in general, there are things that have happened in the past that is keeping you from propelling into your future, that are keeping you stagnant. And these things must go, because who you want to be, whether it's seeing yourself in a new job, seeing yourself in a relationship, seeing yourself with an abundance amount of money, possessions, whatever, being able to help people in large quantities, you must acknowledge your past, right? But you should not resonate on your past. That should be forgotten. Because let's say, for an example, right? you were in school, primary school or elementary school, and you used to have a stuttering problem, right? And I know people who have dealt with this, who've had a stuttering problem, and people used to clown them and point at them and make fun of them, right? And some people have continued to have this stuttering problem because it's at the forefront of their mind, and they tell them, you'll never be able to speak like a regular person. You're always gonna have this lisp or this stutter or this and that and the third. And when you believe that and you lean into that and you have things that come up in the forefront of your mind that trigger these things all the time, you stay in that place instead of saying, how can I become better? Should I see a speech pathologist? Should I calm my mind a little bit more before I speak? Should I gather my thoughts? Should I seek help to do this, right? And when you start looking at those things in your life and actually seeking help and not allowing things of the past to control who you are in the present, things start to shift in your reality, right? We are all able to quantum shift. We're all able to jump into the reality that we desire, but we have to let the past go, right? Look at in the Bible, Moses, if he allowed for his past to define who he was, he would have never listened to God's voice, or he would have never had the space that opened up within him to be able to see God on the mountain, in the flaming bush, right? That allowed for him to give him the message, because he did mention when he was on there, but why me? I'm a murderer. I have a stuttering problem, right? And he said, don't worry about that. Your brother's going to be able to speak for you. You ain't got to trip about that. But if you are willing to follow my word and take heed to what I'm saying, I will be able to help you to deliver your people from Pharaoh, from the evils, right? And I'm not saying that it was easy for him to be able to do that, because I'm sure there were things that triggered him along the way, but he took the step. He took the steps to be able to overcome his past, right? To be able to step into that greatness, into that power that he has, to be able to be of what we see in the Bible when we read it. The man who helped us to deliver his people to the promised land. There were some hiccups along the way, but he took that step, right? So for a lot of us, we are allowing the past to define who we are right now in the present, and it is controlling who we may become in the future. And we need to let that go. We need to relinquish that. God doesn't look at anyone in the Bible as a failure, right? So if you failed in the past and you're currently allowing for that to determine what you're able to do or what you're not able to do in the present time, that leads into the future, which is right now, you have to let that go. You have to come to terms with that and be able to speak more life into yourself, to release those things, because those things don't matter. Those things don't matter. Even the butterfly has to be, quote unquote, a worm first before it blooms. We all have a starting point in our life, but that does not mean we have to stay stuck at that starting point, right? One thing for myself that's come up, and that's why I said earlier in the video, is kind of like there are things that will come up throughout your days that are kind of telling you to release those things. There have been dreams that have resurfaced from myself from the past that I completely thought I got rid of in my mind, but they are still there. Not because I haven't forgiven them or these scenarios, but because I still allow some of those things to play into the back of my mind and come out into the forefront of my mind of who I am. Also, like teetering on there. Like, I'll give you the example to be completely transparent, right? I grew up in a household that was more so violent, chaotic, that experienced domestic abuse, that experienced infidelity, that experienced lying and distrust and all of these things, right? And even though I tried to not allow any of those things to take place of who I am today. Those things will sit in the back of your mind if you completely don't forgive and forget those things, right? When you're entering into a new relationship, you're scared that you're going to find a good thing or have a good thing because of you saw cheating happen in the past, and so you don't want to cheat, right? It's kind of like with the Love Is Blind guy Clay, right? And if he so happens to come across this video, no disrespect, brother, I'm just saying, he did not forget his past, so his past dictated what his new reality was going to be. He was scared to get into a relationship because he saw his dad to not be faithful, so he believed, because that was so deeply ingrained in his visual, that it was deeply ingrained into his DNA, that he would actually cheat. But he is not his dad, right? He is not his dad. He completely determines what will happen in his life between him and God. And if he comes to complete terms with that, she'll forget all of that, and the new person of who he is shall take place, right? So a lot of men deal with this. I've dealt with this, right? And these are things that you have to forget about. You have to release those things from your soul, from your spirit, in order to transition, right? So there may be things that are haunting you, family. There may be things that you have self-debilitating thoughts about. How you doing? There may be things that you have self-debilitating thoughts about, but you have to be able to release those things from your spirit to be able to transition forward into the newness of your life. You have to. It is required. God says to leave the world behind and to be able to reform your mind, transition your mind into a newness. So when you forgive yourself, when you forgive those situations that are causing detriment in your life completely, and it's a step-by-step process. You might have to journal. You might have to go seek therapy. You might have to take the things and write them down that have hurt you the most and burn them so they no longer exist, right? You're going to have to pray. You're going to have conversation and a real relationship with the source of the universe, with God, the creator, to be able to allow for your spirit to release those things. It's not going to be easy, but it is very, very much so possible. And one thing I say is as well too, that will affect how you think, that will affect how you move and show up in your everyday life, is the way that you eat, the way that you drink. Your dietary habits play a large role in how you show up. And a lot of people are suffering from conditions and diseases that they believe are genetic or hereditary. But these also go into that aspect as well of things that have been told to you from your past, that you're always going to be this, you're always going to be this. Oh, don't worry about this. This is just something that's in our bloodline. But you don't see yourself in holding on to this for the rest of your life. You don't want to see yourself in that space. Diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, obesity, whatever it may come from. You don't want to see yourself in those things. And so you allow people to dictate from those words or those past experiences to dictate how you eat, how you cope with your diet, with your nutrition. And you have to release that. You have to start anew. You have to take that ball of paper from what those things were built on, a scroll, things that have been compounded over time, those words, those experiences, those things that made the way they made you feel, and ball that up. It's trash. It no longer exists to you anymore. From here on out to where you want to be, those things no longer exist. You must rewrite your own scroll, rewrite your own commandments for your life, and stand by those things. Stand by those. Live in love. Have forgiveness within your heart. Do not harden your heart by way of things that have happened in the past, but instead, guard it. Guard your mind. Guard your heart to be able to speak positive affirmations into yourself daily. If that's what you need to do to be able to transition from your past to be able to have consistent flow and energy that you're speaking into yourself, or you're listening to, that is programming into your DNA for you to be able to transition into the future that you want to. Do that. You must. Because the earth is shifting, everything is growing. Every time I come out into this environment, more plants are growing, the plants are getting taller. Everything is shifting, everything is growing, so you must not stay stagnant. You are a plant. Your cells are always evolving. They're cleansing, they're regenerating. So your mind needs to be doing the same thing. The things that have held you back, release those things. This week, what is going to be new for you? What is going to be a new starting point for you in your life to be able to transition into that future, to propel into that? Let's write these things out. Let's speak those things into our everyday life. And let's continue to be one with the Creator, one with the solar, one with who you truly are within. Right? Because we are a spirit experiencing humanity. We are a spirit first, not a body first. We are spirit first. The spirit was breathed into the body, as so the Creator wrote. So we are spirit first. Do not allow others who have troubling spirits to dictate how you look at yourself, how you feel about yourself, what you do, what you say. What matters is how you feel, what God says to you. All right. Quick example. Pickleball is something that I love right now. And I played with a older community, and these guys are very, very cocky, very cocky, and have a certain way that they like to play in their private group. I got invited into this private group, and so I played, and I was winning. I was beating these guys, and they started to say, "Oh, the way you're serving is not how we like it. It's not how you're supposed to, this and that and the third." And instead of me arguing with them and stirring up trouble to create a perception of how they would continue to look at me, or how they feel about inviting outside people into their group, no matter how good they are, I decided to say, okay. I decided to shift how I decided to serve the ball. And even though this made me so upset and uncomfortable, right, I had to forget those situations and instances that happened a minute to 2 minutes ago for me to be able to continue to play successfully. Because if I had it on the forefront of my mind, this guy aggravated me so bad that I can't even play well. Now he controls me. Those past scenarios now control you, and you do not give power to anyone to control you. You control you, and you allow the Creator to deal with everything. Right? And so what I did today was practice all of those things that they said, quote unquote, I did wrong. So now when I go into different settings, I know what to pull out of my bag. I know what to shift into. I know what serves to use. I know what drops to use. I know certain placements. I know these things because I'm going to be in different communities, right? Certain things people may like, certain things people may not like. But if you only have one way of doing things, you will only get one result. You must have multiple ways of doing things to be able to become a better you. You must take advice and not be triggered by it to become a better you. Everything is not a personal attack, family. There are things that are out here to help us, and even though they may come off the wrong way, they are here to help you. All advice is good advice. It's just what you take and what you will use. So in saying that, I won't make this video too long, but try to work on yourself to forget your past. One of the things that God has created us that is amazing is our brain and our mind that is attached to such. We have the ability to remember, recite, and to look ahead of us. But the thing that is overlooked is our ability to forget. You can forget things that no longer serve you and recreate in your mind things that serve you, that are going to propel you forward to where those things no longer have a hold over you, have power over you at all. So start today to forget your past. Forget things that don't serve you in your past and create new memories today. I thank you all for joining me for this quick message from me. I am Caesar. And this channel has been growing, and I appreciate everyone who has been tapping in. Continue to share, like, and subscribe and comment for this channel so we can continue to grow. Drop in the comments what you take from this, that you love, things that I can improve on. I'm willing to take advice, things that you would like to hear about, because we all are all connected. We all have similar experiences. I'm just willing to talk about mine. So I appreciate you all as we continue to grow. We are going to grow from the sun and further. I love you all. Peace. Until next time.